crime. Okay, so let's say I suppose this
the offence of incitement to racial.
let's say as we post this video online and you get to retweet it on Twitter, that can constitute,
You
even though
know,
nobody's read, that
you
can
know what I just
constitute.
realized? You know what
Well,
I just realized? Like I didn't put it live on my YouTube. So all this time my YouTube wasn't live.
oh, are you serious? It has not been.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So all that they missed. So anyone who's joining now on my live, I don't know if you can go back to it or just go to Frank's channel. I think so. But my Twitter was live, but I didn't put my own one live. You know.
sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this, wow, don't worry. Next time we are going to get the live stream, because he will be on I'll have Momus again towards the ending of this month. I will be talking about a more light-hearted topic. Not about Muslims. We'll be talking about Christianity. So we'll have Momus again. But thank you all for joining my channel for the live. I am honored. I'm happy to have you all, as always. So
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred.
this is so messed up.
Intended to or likely. How can he check people's intentions?
Yeah, this is so not just the intention. The intention part is already crazy. Then the likelihood part is, who determines this thing? Who determines what is likely to? No, this is dangerous, guys. This is really, really the wording of these things are just like, and then there's the publishing and distributing, and we all know that when it comes to definition, they are already ready to redefine what publishing means and what distributing will be. So it might even be sending WhatsApp message. That is distributing.
Yeah. This
And
is
then
actually what they're trying to do.
Yeah, if you now ask yourself, if they're going to go towards that extent let's say they say even sharing WhatsApp message that was likely or intended to insult or offend. If they say even WhatsApp message, then to enforce that, what would they have to do? They will require social media people, Facebook or Meta, to give them permission to look at people's WhatsApp. And if you don't do that in the UK, we will not allow you to operate in this country.
Yeah.
And the government now, this is how a state gradually becomes China, essentially.
Yeah.
I
mean,
like Momus.
This is because the thing is, there was a labor councillor who was in the protest. So another protest happened, right? It didn't happen actually. So there were a lot of rumors around that is going to happen. A far right protest is going to happen, and all of the Muslims and the far left people came out to do anti-protest, and none of the far right people, or normal people, actually not far right people, came out to protest, because there was never one. It was just a scam, like to get them riled up and stuff, right? Within there was a labor councillor who was shouting that that all the far right people, right, who are Nazis now, they should have we should cut off their throats and throw them away, right? This is a labor councillor. This is an elected labor councillor for a local authority, right? So that's what he said. He was suspended from the party and he was arrested, but he hasn't put through to those show trials. He hasn't put through like straight away to 20, 30 months in prison, when he should have, like, if you're telling that.
He should immediate sentence. Let them give him 3 years, like they are giving to someone. Let them have 5 years. What? Let them give him 20 years. Let them show that they are really committed to this thing.
Yeah, and when he was saying that, there was a lot of people around him, obviously all white people, that were cheering on, like white lefties, cheering on, like, yeah, we should do. There were people of Amnesty UK. There's refugees people that help these refugees come over here. They were cheering him when he was saying we should cut off the throats of far right.
That is distribution and publishing. They should be.
He was on, like, he was inciting violence. He was actually inciting violence.
And both him and everybody around him who we are cheering, they should be guilty of
Everyone.
publishing and inciting.
Yeah.
Extend the definition. There's something I say, if we want to get mad, let's get mad together. Apply it equally.
Yeah.
But this is really concerning. This is really concerning that you're going to arrest people for, and the way it is being worded is really concerning. It should not be the case. There was a law that was introduced a bill that was introduced into Nigeria, and the bill said anybody that is a criminal offense to not be able to sing the new national anthem, that it will be a criminal offense you get 2 years jail prison sentence if you insult the president, if you insult any government elected official. What else? And also if you the other speech laws that were in that bill. Now, when it was introduced, the Nigerians became aware of it. There's already a protest in Nigeria already that is ongoing, right? And when people online knew about it, people were talking about it, was becoming part of like the online conversation in Nigeria. And the next day, the bill was withdrawn. Like, even the Nigerian, I'm just saying that even the Nigerian is now looking more sensible. And the person who introduced it apologized that, he didn't really mean it. Of course, he wasn't anticipating this level of backlash. And when he saw it, was like, oh, okay, let's withdraw it. But in the UK, it's like publishing and distributing, and everybody's like, yo, let's go. Guys, this does not look nice. It does not look nice at all. It does not look good at all.
Well, like whatever this guy is even saying, whatever they're saying, right? They are just trying to scare people, and this is what I want to repeat to people again and again. Don't let them scare you. So, like, know your rights. Don't let them intimidate you, because they cannot put thousands and millions of people in prison. They want you to shut up. They want you to roll over so that they can convert this country into their Soviet dreams, right? So they will make it socialist. They're already trying to put in laws that will make it more and more socialist, right? So Angela Rayner has already come out and said that the housing, social housing, is not limited to white British people only now. Or sorry, not white British. I meant like not limited to British citizens anymore. So refugees and whatever migrants can also apply for social housing. This is wrong. In any country, this is wrong, right? It's social housing. How can you give social housing to people who don't belong to that country? What is going on? So they are doing these things, and I knew this thing was coming because the suggested changes to British constitution, one of them was the right of housing, right? And the right of housing was extended to everyone having a right of housing. So I knew this was coming because this is their mentality, right? They haven't even been for a month or so in government. These people are trying something on. They will not survive with this. So I think so it needs resisting again and again. It needs people to come together. It needs organizations like Free Speech Union, which I'm a member of as well. Everyone go and join them. If you're in UK, join these organizations, support these people, because they are going to fight for you. And once we have like enough people and stuff, we fight against them, we can sue this government, because the idea is to have this government dissolved, basically, and parliament can be dissolved.
Yeah, I think this is one this is one of the reasons why I like having Momus on, because besides just talking about the problem, you always like provide like, this is the way forward. This is how we can, moving forward. This is how we can, do something about what we are seeing. Do something to remedy the situation. Do something to make it better. And one of those, what you suggested is, join organizations and let's try and see what we can do to dissolve this current government. And like you said, I don't know how the British politics work, but from what you said this government can be dissolved. And if it's an option that I believe every person in the UK should, see if they can utilize and, make a reality, because what I'm hearing is really, really, really troubling. Like, what is really troubling? Thinking about it is just really troubling. The last time Nigeria lived under this kind of government was during the military rule, and we called that military rule a dictatorship. That's what it was known as, a dictatorship,
Yeah.
where they will go after people who said something that they didn't like and stuff like that. And to see that happening in Western countries that we in third world countries like we want to emulate, it doesn't look well. It doesn't look well. The next time, and which is one of my concerns, is that the next time, let's say a Nigerian politician want to introduce crazy speech laws, what is he going to say? Oh, let me tell you what happened in the UK. That's where they will start from. Do you know what happened in the UK? Somebody was thrown in prison for saying this, and that. We are not doing anything out of the ordinary. That is what they will say. So
Yeah.
be the example that you've always been, please. Just be the example that you've always
Yeah,
been.
but like it's going. I think so. I don't like, because the king can actually dissolve. The king can actually step in and dissolve the parliament if he wants to, right? So it's at a point, like, we know the king is also weak in that respect, because he's also far left, have ideas of far left and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I think so, even for the king, if this goes on for a few months, this would be a bit too much even for him, because like it's not just what they're doing to people. This is going to start tanking the economy. This is going to start the investors are going to start leaving, right? We already have the highest number of people ever to be millionaires and investors and stuff already leaving UK. uh, the,
Mm.
the young people leaving UK as well, like British nationals, not like these migrants and stuff, but actually homegrown people. They're leaving UK. The investment is going, because there's no confidence in what they will
Mm.
be able to do, because all they hear is these things, and they think, what's coming? Higher taxes, higher and higher taxes, because they've already said they're going to tax, right? Before they were coming in, they said they were never going to tax, right? That
Mm.
they're not going to raise their taxes. And I was telling people, look, these are people who are communists, who are socialists. Why do you think
Mm.
they're not going to raise the tax? That's all
Of
they
course.
believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Taxes. And yeah, the king can actually dissolve the government for Canada as well. Probably he should. Yeah, if I was king, I would have tried Keir Starmer for treason already. Like, this guy is, but everyone knew it, right? Like, this is nothing new about Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer is the one who has introduced the laws and who has, done stuff in his whole life that has
Mm.
brought him to this point where he's just
Mm.
delivering his promise. He is
Mm.
consistent. He's not in. It's not like all of a sudden Keir Starmer has gone crazy. No, no, he's consistent in his madness. He's
Mm.
consistent in his
Mm.
ideology. It's everyone around who's unable to understand that. They think like, oh, he's weak. He looks feeble. He looks weak. Like, he
Yeah,
looks like a beta male.
you
It's
know.
like, but that is the ideal male now,
Mm.
in the idea of the new communist, new far left, right?
Mm.
There's not the age of Stalin and stuff where they wanted like strong men and stuff like that, right? The new idea of the woke left, which is mixed with the far left as well, is a weak man. So they cannot
Mm.
have a strong man doing these things what he's doing. So that's why he's the ideal leader for them. We might
Mm.
think, as sensible people or people on the
Mm.
conservative or the Christians and stuff like that, that he's weak, and that means
Mm.
he's not a good leader. For us,
Mm.
he's not a good leader. For them,
Mm.
he's the ideal leader, because they want to get rid of these working class white men who are strong men, right? Who exhibit
Mm.
masculinity. This is what they're
Mm.
after. So why would they have a masculine, leader of communism in these
Mm.
days? So they
Yes.
like, don't disregard, people disregard him as like, oh, he's so weak, he can't even punch. It's like, that's actually his strength.
That's his appeal. He has appeal to his crowd,
Mm.
and that's how he deceives people on the other side by appearing weak. His crowd is going to be like, yeah, that's the kind of man we want, and people on the other side is going to be like, who is a threat? It's also funny about the UK is how people who look weak are the ones doing ridiculous stuff, and the level of power that they are able to wield. Like, I look at the UK police and I'm like, if somebody that is dressed like that comes to arrest me, I would just start laughing because of how they look. You're like, you're coming. This is the person riding a bicycle with that hat that you people wear, and that colorful Nigerian police dressed in all black for a reason. Is to scare the hell out of you. The UK police look colorful. I'm like, what is this? This is the person that wants to arrest me, and it's usually a woman. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But
But
those are the people that are doing the crazy things.
yeah, but the reason for that is as well, like, we're supposed to have policing by consent in this country. Right? The police is not there to scare you. The police is not there to control you. The police is not supposed to be there to enforce like things that you shouldn't be doing. It's not supposed to beat you on the street and stuff like that. It's supposed to be by consent, because this used to be a society where people understood the meaning of consent. And that was
mm,
before the mass migration. That was before 70s and 80s, when more
mm,
60s, even, like when more and more people started coming in who were not
mm,
of this culture, right? And
mm,
they didn't understand what does it mean policing by consent. you know
mm,
they don't even
mm.
understand what consent means. These Muslims, they
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
understand what consent means.
I've seen cases like that where they're like, this person raped somebody and he wasn't charged or sentenced because they said he did not understand consent. And I'm like, hey, well, put him in prison and he will understand it. You know?
Yeah, get him out of the bloody country. I would say, you know that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing.
Take him out of the country and he will understand consent. You know.
Yeah.
And
So
here's one of your secret admirers, Momus. I want you to know that I know one of your secret admirers.
uh,
Uh,
oh.
yeah, one of the funny. What is one of the funny videos there? There's somebody that made mention of. Although I couldn't find that clip when I was preparing for this live stream. There was this clip of police officers telling a gang of Muslims, telling them that they should
Put
leave their
your, yeah.
leave your weapons in the mosque. What do you think about that? When you saw that, what were your thoughts about
There's an okay. That guy wasn't a police officer, by the way, right? So that guy was
that?
a community, like police community support officer. So he's not a police officer itself, but he works as a community support officer, right? It's a
Okay.
different mentality, because, like I said, policing is supposed to be by consent. So you have these community people. So
Mm,
he seemed like he was a Muslim himself, right? So it was
mm,
an admission over there for me. I would be
mm,
investigating really heavily, that this
mm,
person knows that this is his community, this mosque. He knows that the weapons are stored in the mosque, whatever the reason might be, right? The reason might be like, oh, because we had a lot of cases of Paki bashing and stuff like that back in the
mm,
time, when actual far right people beat up Pakistanis and stuff,
mm,
for being Pakistanis, being brown and stuff. A lot of Sikh people also got beaten up, and Indians, just in
mm,
that, sort of a race sort of a thing. So they have built up a cache of weapons in case this happens again, right? This could be their uh, reasoning,
Reasoning.
but it's not.
Mm,
It's illegal, right? It's illegal to have all of these weapons stored up, and this is why I was saying they didn't get these weapons delivered by Amazon next day delivery. They had these weapons in their mosques, right?
mhm,
So there has to be recognition of that. So why has no one gone to those mosques and done any investigation? Why hasn't anyone done an investigation on this police liaison officer, whatever the hell this guy is, community support officer, whatever he might be?
mhm,
Why? Because it is an admission of guilt that he knew that this has
mm,
happened, right?
mm,
Right?
mm.
None of the far right people, none of them came out with like,
Well,
one person came out with a small truncheon, right, which he didn't even use on anyone, and they put him
mm,
in prison. He was like 69 years old or something. They put him in prison for whatever, 26 months or whatever months, like they're putting similar, months on people. But none of those people have been captured. They only captured one or two people who showed AK-47s on video, right?
mm,
As well, like, okay, so can we actually admit that they have AK-47s, they have weapons and stuff like that, where the far right people that you're calling far right people are actually, they're only coming out with their concerns, they're not
mm.
coming out with their weapons.
It turns out that having concerns is more deadly, than having weapons. Actually, this
Yeah.
when you redefine what harm look like. When you can have violent protests online, then you
Hmm.
know that you're not dealing with actual violence. You are dealing with well, what they are interested in is not actual violence. It's what they perceive as violence. It can be.
Hmm.
And here is this police commissioner saying
Hmm.
that let's just listen to what he has to say. One of the things he said is really funny. Why is this taking so long?
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we'll come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
To be fair to this man, he didn't say he's going to come after Elon Musk, even though people interpreted it as such. I don't think that's what. I don't think the UK have that.
No, I think so. They've mentioned this afterwards and stuff, because
They asked him, what will you say about people online like Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Would this apply to him? And then he just repeated the answer he gave again. And I'm like, I don't know if in his defense, I'm like, maybe he's just repeating himself. You know, when government officials don't have answers, they just repeat themselves. But I don't think he meant to say that he's going to.
No. He definitely meant to say that. Believe me, he definitely meant to say that, because they have been building towards it, right? So they didn't say it at first, because this is a very earlier interview during these protests that happened. Eventually, like little by little, they have got more and more courageous in saying things against Elon Musk and everyone else, right? Up to that point where the EU, even like, so people also have to understand EU is actually in lockstep with this Labour government, because EU is very far left as well. The current, like, their their government as well, and they are already in connection with the Labour government, so they're like, going in lockstep with them. So when EU sent Elon Musk that letter, that when he was going to host Donald Trump, when they sent him that letter to stop doing it, that was the reason, because they're trying to nibble at him from all angles and stuff, and his response was perfect. His response was like, just absolutely perfect through the memes that they hate, like, just do that, like that was perfect. But this is also the reason why they're trying to take away Tommy Robinson's. There was talk about taking away Tommy Robinson's Irish passport, because he was born in Ireland, right? So he has dual nationality. He has an Irish passport because his mother is Irish as well. And they were trying to take away, or saying that they are going to take away that, because obviously they have connected with EU, because they want him trapped over here, right? They want him to bring him back over here, do another of the show trials against him, no jury, no anything, and put him in prison. And putting him in prison, either in isolation or something like that, or with these Islamists and stuff, and that's just gonna mean that he's gonna, God forbid, he's gonna end up dying in there, and that's what they want. So it's actually very scary for people who are voicing up.
Yeah, when they pack you in prison with the Islamists that they've imported, only God knows what will happen at the end of the day. It's going to, like, the what will become of you in that place is going to be something else. Which is why I don't want you, Momus, to end up there. Okay.
I don't want.
And this is one of the. This is one of the interesting. This is a very interesting one. There are two of it, and they are very, very interesting. And I want you guys to pay close attention to how these videos begin.
No, you're having a really
Hello, assalamu alaikum. My name is Phil Hutchinson. Hello, assalamu alaikum. My name is Phil Hutchinson, and I.
Did you guys hear it? Let's take it back. We need to play this again.
Yeah. And also, like, see the people at the back.
Phil Hutchinson.
Yeah, look at it.
Like, what the hell, man?
This guy blink twice if you are.
It's bloody dhimmis, like, like, what the hell, man?
Oh no!
It's worse than taking. It's actually worse than taking the knee to BLM. It's even worse than that.
Look at the people surrounding him. It's like he's surrounded by Hamas fighters, and he's a Jew that has been taken as a hostage, and they're like, this video. This looks like a hostage video.
Yeah.
And he started by saying, Assalamu alaikum. This is why I say the British police is not threatening. It's not threatening at all.
Yeah.
This is the guy that wants to arrest you. This is the guy that
You know what the reason is, like, the reason is that they think everyone thinks like them, right? So they think that no matter who you add to their system will interact with others in the same way. So if they appease to these people and they are nicer to these people and stuff, then they can control, their community leaders can control other people, right? Their community elders or whatever they call them, they can control people. It doesn't work like that,
it's
because
not this.
they're not here to assimilate. When you're in Britain and you're still wearing your traditional dresses and stuff like that, and you're still like, you're not assimilating, you don't want to assimilate, you
At
want to
all.
oppress them with your culture. That's what you're there for. So what the hell are we doing appeasing these people?
You see, look at your fan. This is not my fan right now at this moment. This is your fan. Look at she's like 100%. Well, so when I saw this, I was like, okay, let's say you are doing this to appease the Muslims. I believe that Muslims are not the only minority when it comes to like migrants. I believe there are many Nigerian migrants in the UK. I think the UK has a very good Nigerian population. I believe, and most of them did not go there on ships. I would like to, if they went there legally, they are not illegal migrants. In Nigeria, Nigerians don't become illegal migrants. We are usually legal migrants. We don't get on boats, okay, for the most part. We process our visas. Some of us go there by walking, so they go on work visas and stuff like that, or through education. So we go to the UK hoping to contribute to that society, and the least we can get is somebody say Ibo Kwenu before addressing the public, or Ekaro. These are greetings in Nigeria. These are local Nigerian greetings. You can start. It's not just Assalamu alaikum. You have to commit to this thing. You have to. I don't like half. You have to be committed. Go all in. Okay. Address every single. Because according to you guys, this is a protest against minorities. So address every single minority, not just Shukran and Assalamu alaikum. Go all the way. Be as ridiculous as you can be. Learn how to speak Yoruba so you can address the Yoruba migrants. Learn how to speak Igbo so you can address the Igbo migrants. Learn how to speak, I believe there are many people from the Ashanti tribe in Ghana who are in the UK. Learn how to speak Ashanti so you can address those people there. We have many people from West Africa that end up as migrants in the UK. And this is the thing about West African migrants. They are nice people. In fact, that your communist utopia, they are ready to abide by anything. Any rule you put in front of them, they will follow it. They are more helpful for whatever you want to achieve. Why don't you address us in our local language and show support for us?
Yeah, learn all the languages of the world.
So that you can be as inclusive as possible. Because I don't feel included. I'm very sure there are so many Nigerian migrants who did not feel included in this year attack. I mean, in this year address, rather. Be inclusive. Okay, yeah. Go all in.
All in.
Go all in. And this is not just one instance. There's another one. There's another instance.
Oh, this was even worse.
Salam alaikum. There is one tier of policing that implies to all of us, and that means that we police without fear or favour. Shukran. Salam alaikum. There is one.
Shukran.
It's like, if there's one tier of policing, then you shouldn't have to do that. If there's one tier of policing, then you should be addressing people in your country in your bloody language with your greetings. Right? It's like we police by like no fear or favor, right? So, but you're showing favor within this video. You're showing favor, like
you're right, 100%. If there's one tier policing, why are you not speaking English? Why are you using? And it's funny. There's something very funny about this video, because if this video was made, because the people who making the accusation of, I think it's even insulting in a way, because people making the accusation that there are two-tier policing in the UK are white working class people, right? So this video is made for them, not for the Muslims. No. And you address them by greeting them in Arabic. Like,
It's like putting salt on the wounds. Like, it's
yes,
like,
you're putting salt on
yeah.
the moon. It's like you're adding insult to injury.
Hmm.
What exactly are you trying to do? Because this is a video for the far right, who, according to you, the far right or the white people who are like, they are two-tier policing in the UK, or two-tier care, they called it.
Hmm.
Your response is to greet them and even end it with shukran. This is comedy at this point. You are trolling them. You are really trolling them.
And like the main thing that I hate as well, the biggest thing that I hate as well, that they're making the country that I love into a bloody joke worldwide, right? The
True.
country with an immense history and tradition and values and culture that they have
Mm,
spread all over the world. The love of which is the reason why I came over here to be a part of it. These far
mm,
left dildos are making fun of it. They're making it into a joke. If people are like,
mm,
you are watching this, right? Even
mm.
Nigerians are laughing at us. Like, what the hell is going on? We can't have that. This is what annoys me, like, really badly, because you know y- y- like, there's so much anger with it.
Having pride for your country and being not being okay with being ridiculed is a sign that you are part of the far right. This is a
Yeah,
symptom of far right ideology. Okay, thinking, why is my country being insulted? Why is my country this way? Is evident that you are now part of the far right.
yeah.
So
And like, people say a lot of times that, why are these immigrants are coming over here, and why do they want to make it into the same shithole that they ran away from, right? And I try telling people, like, not everyone is actually running away from something bad.
mm,
uh, and most of the people are actually not running away from something bad. They're actually bringing something bad with them, right? They
mm,
have bad intentions towards this country. They
mm,
don't want, they're fooling people. Back
mm,
home, like, a lot of these Pakistanis, they have built a lot of nice homes and stuff like that for themselves from the
mm, mm,
benefits that we are paying for them. So they would have their children in this country, these Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, and Somalis, and all these stuff, because they get benefits, right? And then they would
mm,
save up from those benefits, and they would send home, and they would make their homes over there. So they would
mm,
live in luxury on the back of the people over here. They don't want
mm,
to assimilate or integrate, because they're not here because they love the country. They're here
mm.
because you are giving them an advantage. You're giving them the benefits that they need, and they're just taking advantage of it. It's easy
They are
money for them.
Yeah, they're leeching on the system, just exploiting
Yeah.
the system. And
And
for them, they don't.
actually the good bad people, right? The good ones of them are the ones that are just leeching. The really bad ones out of them are the ones who mean to conquer this country,
True,
right?
true. What you said is really like true. Like the good ones are just leeching off the system, taking advantage of it, leeching off the system and just sucking it dry. Why the bad ones are not just here to just leech off the system. They are here to take over. They are here
Yeah.
to make the land of war, or
Yeah.
the land of war become the land of Allah. That is their
Yeah.
goal. That is their intention. They are forming grooming gangs, and
Mm.
they are perpetrating various heinous crimes. You
Mm.
know,
And if you
and
think
you have
about it, like, if you combine both of those groups, right? You say, like, what is the contribution? What is the net contribution that these people are bringing to this country?
diversity,
And
cultural
what it
heritage.
would be without them? How better this country would be without them? And
They
anyone would be saying, like, deport them. You and me as an immigrant would be saying, like, deport them. I don't want them over here.
true, true, true. Look at who we have in the live chat. It's none
Oh,
other than 1990. Yes, and this is what we get from here. Freaky Friday. That's what this Friday is about. It's Freaky Friday with yours truly. Unfortunately, we are not talking about trans men and trans women, which is like Yasa's favorite topic. We're talking about Muslims.
yeah,
And by
but,
the way,
like, go on.
in case
Sorry.
Yasa is secretly a Muslim in Finland.
But like, this is what I said to people, like, when they were talking about trans and stuff like that. It's like, We already have the problems in trans. We've seen on all throughout Olympics what's happening, right? We have a Muslim country who's scorning now the Olympics by saying and that it's like it's pretty obvious he's a man. There's nothing womanly about this man. And then the way that they were congratulating this man, the Algerian Muslim coaches, you wouldn't do that if he was a woman, because it would be illegal in your country to do that, right? So we know
True.
what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we know what they're doing. So this is what I was telling them, like, look, once the problem of Islam becomes more and more, this woke shit would not even matter, because these lefties have always succumbed to the Islamists, and this is what we're seeing in UK. This is why I've been talking about Islam for so long. Like, that is a huge problem. There are two main problems in the West that the West has to deal with: communism and Islam. Now, people might make fun of me for sometimes talking too much about communism, saying, oh, it's not communism, it's Stalinism, it's Maoism, it's racism. Saying, no, it comes from the same mentality. It's Marxist ideology, and that needs to be tackled with. That needs to be taken out of all our institutions, all our education systems, everywhere. That has to be dealt with. And the problem of Islam, not just Islamism, right? Now, Keir Starmer, you have the opportunity to put me in jail for this, right? Islam does not belong in the West, right? Anyone who says otherwise is kidding themselves. It does not belong in the West. There are a lot of people who say, like, oh, I'm a cultural Muslim. There's nothing like cultural Muslim. You're fooling yourself, right? There's nothing like moderate Muslim. There are moderate Muslims in practice, but there's no moderate Muslim in ideology, right? So in practice, it might be that you as a person might be a moderate person, but because ideology has no room for moderation, that means beyond you as a person after your death, you cannot promote it beyond yourself. So unless there is a reformation within the religion led by, like, maybe Saudi Arabia, finally a reformation that happens, that like pulls away these extremist elements, there is no moderation till that happens. And we need to the way that we need to have it happen is we have to force these people to criticize Islam again and again and again, and make it laughable as it is, but like, unless that happens, Islam does not, in its current form, Islam does not belong in the West, and it is utter stupidity to have it here.
Yeah, and in addition to, despite some people saying, because I can already hear people say, oh, but I have Muslim friends. I have very good Muslim friends. In the grand scale of things, your Muslim friend does not matter. In the grand, people need to understand, in the grand scale, that your Muslim friend is insignificant. That the circle of Muslims that you know that are nice people, in the grand scale of things, they are insignificant to the vast majority of Muslims that either believe in Islam and in Sharia law and want to implement it, or even if they don't implement it themselves, who want to live in a society where Sharia law will be implemented. Your friend may not believe in child marriage, but if he believes in Sharia law, whether he knows that Sharia law stipulates child marriage or not, is inconsequential. Sharia law is Sharia law. I've had a conversation. I had a conversation with a Muslim, and I was telling him some of the problem with Sharia law, and he was telling me, of course, oh no, that this is extremist interpretation. And then I said, in what era and in what country is this your moderate interpretation of Sharia law being implemented? Show me one part of the world where this your moderate, reasonable interpretation of the Quran is being implemented. And at what point in history, throughout the history of the religion, 1,400 years, at what point was this implemented? There is none.
Frank, like you know that wasn't real communism. That wasn't real Islam. This time when we have Sharia law, it will be the right Sharia law. It is the same mentality. It is the same mentality what the socialists do and what the communists do. Like, yeah, but that wasn't communism. That's not like,
It's
there's the wrong interpretation of it. Like, we are going to do it the right way.
Yeah, that's the same thing with that's the same thing with communism. 20 million people were killed. No, that was not real communism. 100 million people were killed on that map. That is not real communism. Look at Cuba. That's not real communism. Look at Venezuela. What is real communism? Where is this real? It only exists in the head. That's one thing about these people. When your idea only exists in your head, maybe you should start questioning it. Like, it exists in your head.
Yeah.
In your head, it makes sense. But in anywhere, places where people try to practice it, it doesn't go well. But how you have it in your head is perfect. And you were saying something earlier about.
There's a saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a saying with communism, right? That communism, communism is for heaven where it is not needed, and it is like it is belongs in hell where it already exists, or something like that, right? I'm not saying it correctly, but people should look it up. It's very good, like,
Yeah, maybe
because
I'll.
it's just saying like it's a utopia. It seemed as a utopia. When you reach it, you actually don't need it, but it's actually hell where it actually exists. It's its existence is hell for people. So this is Algerian propaganda, right?
Yeah. This is their this is the Algerian female boxer. I know many of you thought this person was a male because of how she was looking, but Algeria is yet to set the record straight. Now watch
Yeah, there's
this.
used so many filters.
Watch this and ask for forgiveness. When you finish watching this, especially Anta, after you watch this, I want you to ask for forgiveness for all the negative things you said to this strong, beautiful Arabian woman.
تحيا الجزائر.
Powerful.
I mean,
Who can deny?
He still looks like a man, but
Who can deny that? Look at the Adam's apple. Look at
yeah. So
the
many
makeup artist.
filters.
Nothing we can do here. And I want people to understand this. There's a reason why I brought this up. I want people to understand that what Algeria did during the Olympics is symbolic of what Muslims are doing in the West. They are taking advantage of ideas that they don't buy into, of movements they don't even support, of things they don't believe in. They are taking advantage of it, and they are exploiting it to your detriment. That is what they are doing. So the more you keep promoting certain ideas, and you see, let's say, Quest for Palestine marching together with an Arab woman or an Arab man saying, yes, we support a free Palestine and all whatnot, and you believe, oh, we are on the same page. You are not. And Muslims are experts in doing this. They know how, these Muslims know how to hijack movements. Like, I covered what happened in Bangladesh. It was an otherwise legitimate movement. People kind of, I've gotten some mails from some people who kind of misunderstand my position on Bangladesh. I'm not saying that the protest that started against Hasina's government was not legitimate. There was a legitimate concern. It was for legitimate reasons. But as always, Islamists know how to hijack a movement. They know how to hijack it and use it to further their ideology. It's the same thing they did in Iran during the Iranian Revolution. It was leftists, it was liberal people who were protesting, and what came into power was a Shia government.
Yeah. And this is the reason why there's a problem with liberalism, right? And this is something that people need to really understand now. They usually say, oh no, this is the other part of left wing, this is a left wing, this is not liberalism and stuff. It's like, no, it gives the opportunity for other people to exist who don't mean well, right? It gives our framework.
It gives people cover.
Yeah, and because liberalism is an expression of the Anglosphere, the political Anglosphere, right? It's an expression of it. They didn't need to elaborate on it because people naturally of Anglosphere, the English people, the British people, the Americans, and so on and so on, whatever comes from them, they are already attuned to liberal ideas and stuff. So they inhabit those things without having to put them in context, right? Once it's combined with their traditional ideas, it's not a bad thing. But people like the French and other Western civilizations, they don't understand liberalism. They don't take the liberalism in the same way, so they're going to distort it, right? So to this left wing ideology, and this left wing ideology everywhere, it is giving its the enemies enough room to play, right? Before any of this, right? all of the West knew and understood Islam as an enemy. It did not
mm,
allow Islam to enter into the country, even, right?
mm,
There
mm,
were things like it resisted it completely. Just ask Poland
mm,
how many wars they have fought against the Turks and stuff. These people used to know the enemy, right? But
mm,
they don't know anymore because they have been confused by these ideologies, these isms
mm,
here from here or there, that
mm,
have made them confused about the realities. And the realities is like, it doesn't matter what you want, it matters what they want. And
mm,
what do you think is going to happen? I don't even understand. Like, okay, even if you say like you want to be nice people, whatever, kind people, whatever it may be, but what do you
mm,
think is going to happen? What do you think? Are they going to give up their intentions? Are they going to stop being the conquerors? Are they just going to stop? Are they going to come out and say, oh, you know what, like, I think so, Allah was wrong and Muhammad was wrong. He
mm,
didn't mean that capture the whole world. He meant like
mm,
capture the Muslim world, and we have that now, and we're okay with it. And we just want to live with you in peace. Like, we have no
mm,
intentions of ever making
mm,
the whole the world Muslim, right?
mm,
Even when Saudi Arabia and UAE are being nicey people right now, right?
mm,
Well, they still believe that, right?
mhm,
The reason why they're being nice is because they're thinking like, you know what, not by violence but with love, we're going to make the whole world into Muslim. They still
mm,
have that intention. They are still your
mm,
enemy. So unless, like labor, if you accept that you want to be a Muslim state or a
mm.
Soviet state or whatever, like, it's probably going to be Islamic state before Islamic Caliphate before it's Soviet, anyways. The way the Britain is going. If you
Yes.
actually want that, let's do a referendum then. Let's do a referendum in this country and say if you want Islam or if you don't want Islam, and you will see
Mm,
that the majority of the people actually don't want Islam in this country. So
mhm,
what happens then when you keep on not delivering on what the actual people want? I believe the majority of the people actually do not want Islam itself, not just extremism. They don't
mhm,
want Islam
mm,
itself in Britain, right? So where is this
mm,
going to lead? Where is this going to lead if not eventual civil wars and stuff like that, right? Because you're not
mm.
giving people what they actually want, right?
True.
And their Islam is never going to, that Islam part is never going to cease, is never going to moderate itself.
Mm,
So this is not like, this is not avoidance or anything. It's inevitable. We are going to
mm,
have this problem, and it's not like me inciting violence or anything. And even if K. Starmer thinks that, he can go fuck himself. I don't care. But even then, right? It's not inciting violence or something. It's stating the facts. What is going to happen when
mm,
you put two people together that
mm,
are natural enemies to each other? One is actually
mm,
not trying to be friendly, but the other one is keeping to its anger. It's just like seeing
mm,
Hamas and Israel, right? The whole
mm,
world wants, the whole lefty world wants ceasefire, but the person
mm,
who's attacking doesn't want ceasefire, but they're still saying they want ceasefire. It's a perfect example. What's happening in Israel and Hamas is a perfect example of Islam. The whole
mm,
world is coddling Islam, and they want them to be peaceful. Oh, it's a religion of peace. Oh, no, no. I know you mean like you want to kill people, but I think so. You just love people too much.
yeah,
And you
Putin
want
to
to,
tell
like, yeah,
the West,
yeah,
Putin to tell the West what they want to do, and the West will be like, no, 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 they don't mean it like that. Actually, it's like symbolic. It's really like
yeah,
metaphoric. I'm like,
yeah.
no, 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 he's not being metaphoric.
Rape is
He's being,
not bad. This person just doesn't know what consent means.
yeah,
Like,
it
otherwise he
doesn't
wouldn't
really,
rape, you
yeah.
know. It's these sort of things that they're doing, and you can see the Hamas thing is like, just put in that context, and then you will what is the eventual outlook. And if you think Israel is being harsh, Israel is actually doing what the whole of the West actually needs to understand. There is no other way to deal with this ideology. There is
Yeah,
absolutely no other way.
yeah. There's also another thing is, and I don't know if it has to get to that point, because I feel when you have countries who are strict, who like countries like Israel, who understand how to deal with like the extremist element and the Muslim population and also their Muslim neighbors, and I think for certain people to be able to understand how to deal with Islam, they need to experience it in a way. Like, look at Spain. Was one time there was a time part of Spain was conquered by
700
by,
years.
it was, yes, during the 100 years after first 100 years of the religion. Okay, so Spain was conquered and then they pushed back, right? They pushed back. That is the Spaniards push back, right?
Yeah.
And then they understand, okay, Islam is a problem because we've dealt with it before. The same thing with the Polish. They've dealt with this, so they understand. That's why they have strict borders. They are not like, oh, we are going to allow migrants into Poland. No, we are not going to do that. They understand, right? The same thing with, let's say, a country like what's the name of this country? That Romania and other like countries in that region. They've dealt with these people. These people have dealt with them for a long time, so they understand that these people are not people you handle nicely. I was talking to people yesterday, and I told them that in eastern part of Nigeria, we don't have a single mosque, like a single mosque. You don't walk around in any street in eastern Nigeria and hear call to prayer. You don't hear it. You understand? It doesn't exist here because we've dealt with these people before. We know how they are. So I feel like people who really understand Islam, for the most part, don't seem to understand it based on reading the Quran or understanding the Hadith. It's just they've dealt with Muslims and they know how Muslims behave. And I really hope for the West to not have to come to that, because when you get conquered by these people, it's not always easy to get the yoke off you, to get the chains off you. It's not really that easy. Many people survive it. They didn't survive it, and tell beautiful stories of how when they were under Islamic rule, it was nice, and they just had the referendum, and Muslims were like, all right, go. That's not how it happens. People lose their life for these things.
And now in this day and age, we have worse weapons, we have worse ways of killing each other as well. And they can they can actually conquer these countries far more easily because people are not armed. This is not America where people have people, they can't conquer America. They know that. Muslims know that, right? Because you're not doing that in the south, at least, of America.
America does not suffer from this, like geographically where it is located. It's not a place where Muslims can just flood into like they do in Europe. It's far away. You cannot just get on a boat and then sail and then sail from Algeria to America.
But you know what? They're even doing that because they're going to Mexico and going from there now, right? So what's happening on the American border is very disturbing. What's happening is like a lot of the countries, are pushing their criminals over there, and they're just getting rid of their criminals and stuff. But either way, like America has more of a backbone. Hopefully, Trump will come in and they will start, because he has already said that they're going to start mass deportations. So we don't have any person like Trump who can come into power in any of the other Western countries who is already saying that I want to deport people, like mass deportations. And we need mass deportations, right? So we need, not just that we need mass deportation. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm advocating for protection of your people, preservation of your culture and your traditions. And more and more, even the immigrants or people who are not native to these countries but are born over here and stuff like that, ethnically they're not native and stuff, they need to start speaking with those people as well now, because it's our preservation as well. If we wanted to live like them, like the Muslims and stuff, we would have stayed in those countries. There's a reason why we come over here, right? Now it's time to defend that reason, right? So stand up with the native population and defend that reason with them. Don't give, because Muslims are going to be worse to us than even the native population. So I think so that it's sort of like what I want the Western countries to do, all of the Western countries to do, is to take away Islam's religious status. And from there everything follows, right? You take away this religious status, you don't recognize that as a religion anymore. They don't have any exemptions then. They don't have any exemptions for their mosques and stuff like that. And then you say, well, your religious status is taken away, so the mosque will have to come down. There's not going to be any minaret mosques and stuff like that. You can have community halls if you want to pray over there, but you'll have to share it with the local population, and you will have to pay for it yourself if you want to build your own places, right? It's not going to be recognized. Your religious any religious celebrations and stuff are not going to be recognized. It's not a religion we recognizing, you know. So I think so, like those sort of steps people have to take eventually, and all the immigration from these countries need to stop. Now people might think that this is a very extreme point of view, but again I say, like,
Mm,
what are you expecting in the end? These people are never going to assimilate, you know. And I'm not talking about like all Muslims and stuff like that. Well, first of all, if someone is saying they're culturally Muslim and moderate Muslim, actually they need to
mm,
grow here, these people, and leave Islam, right? But the reason why you're a moderate Muslim or just a cultural Muslim is because you know Islam is wrong and you cannot follow it, right?
mm,
So
mm,
leave it then. So even the Christians who, if you don't believe in Christ and stuff like that, then leave Christianity. Don't pretend to be something that you're not, right?
mm,
So these
mm,
Muslims, these moderate Muslims, and these Muslims, they have to grow up here, and they have to leave Islam and convert to Christianity if you actually want to follow a God that is not crazy, like, you know. But yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that's all I would say, like, 'cause so it's the responsibility of the Western countries to recognize what their traditions, cultures, and values are, what their traditional
Mm,
religions are, and stuff like that. And the churches need to understand their responsibility as well. The
mm,
responsibility is to save the souls of the people, you know.
mm,
Save the souls of the people. If you want to save the souls of Muslims, then the only way to save their souls is to convert them to Christianity. That's what the churches should be saying in those
mm,
instances, right? You may
mm,
agree or
mm,
you may not agree. If you're an atheist or whatever, you may not agree with it. That's not the point.
mm,
But their purpose is that they are church, they're a Christian church, and they believe in Christianity. They should not be
mm,
doing any interfaith malarkey. None of this interfaith stuff they should be doing. Their purpose should be to convert people to Christianity who want to
mm,
come to Christ, right? They shouldn't
mm,
be accepting other religions into the church. And the
mm,
role of the state should be that we don't care what religion you are not taking advantage over here of
mhm,
like, you know, of our people. And if you're
mhm,
going to do it as we have seen you doing it, if you have seen your scriptures, they're completely against our people. So that way
mm,
we don't recognize your religion. And then if you don't want to live over here, you're more than welcome to leave, you know.
mhm, mhm. And
Sensible policies.
yeah, and I agree with you largely. Like largely, although you know how I feel about like making Islam not. Of course, I don't believe Islam is a religion, but
Yeah.
some people do. They call it such. But what I would say is, what I would say when it has to do with Islam, one is, and even for people in the UK, is before you get they say experience is the best teacher. But my dad always said the experience doesn't have to be yours, right?
Mm.
Doesn't have to be your experience. It can always be the experience of someone else. So learn about this religion, learn about the ideology, inform yourself, be informed, know what this thing is about, read about it. Don't take what they say for granted.
Mhm.
If possible, have conversations with this Muslim. Not if not with the aim of even to have them like convert you or anything, but just to have them explain certain passage of the Quran to you and see what these people actually believe and how they actually think and stuff. Like, see it for yourself that this is really a problem. See it for yourself that this is really problematic. That is one. And when you know this, don't be afraid to say it.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to say it, because one thing is, so even we have people even in the West today who know that Islam is problematic, but they don't want to say it for certain reasons, being that they are afraid of the repercussion and what will come out of it. Don't be afraid to say it, to say this is what this ideology is about and this is what it represents. Know the truth, speak the truth, and act on the truth about Islam. Another thing that you mentioned, which I think is very important and has to do with like the only way, when I look at Muslim countries, I always say that the only way forward for areas that have a Muslim majority is cultural colonialism, but we don't do that anymore, right? If you start to do cultural colonialism in a place like Gaza, Al Jazeera will publish 50 articles every day talking about all the horrible things you are doing, But we have to recognize that as Christians, evangelism is something that we are called to do. You are a Christian in the West. When you see what is happening, this should stir you up towards evangelism, towards evangelizing. Islam is also a religion that tries to evangelize, even though that is not like their main tool for spreading. Their main tool for spreading is force. Force, not false. Force and falsehoods are there, but force is the major way they spread. So, but for Christians, the major way we spread is through evangelizing, trying to bring people to the faith. Try to evangelize to people. Now it's time as a Christian to remember one of the calling that God has given to you is to go out there and make disciples of the nation. So go out there and talk to people and evangelize to people. And now is not the time to be ashamed to be a Christian, especially if you're a Christian. Now is not the time to be ashamed. Now it's time to wear your faith on your sleeve. You know, show the world that yes, I am this and I'm not ashamed. I love Jesus and I'm not ashamed. And I want to declare, you know, his goodness to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know like a lot of atheists or non Christians would argue with that, like, oh, why are you colonizing people culturally and stuff like that. Even if you believe that, which is fine, like, you know, you're entitled to believe that, right? Because if, let's say, if you're a Hindu or something and you love your religion and stuff, you'd be like, no, don't come over here with your Christianity, go F yourself, right? It's fine, you're supposed to believe that. But what I mainly want the West to do is the governments to do, right? Because it's not the government's job to evangelize people, right? It's the government's job to protect its people. So what I want the government to do is to say, out of our country, get out of our country, right? And a barrier, you're not coming in because you're not good for us. You're not good for us, you're not good for our culture, you're not good for our values, you're not good for our traditions, you're not good for our people. So you're not coming in with that ideology. Beyond that, what happens is upon the enterprise of people and the church and stuff, if they want to go ahead and evangelize. And obviously the church should not go and evangelize in a conquering way. It's to spread a message for people to come in, like, you know, because you can see the Coptic Christians, see the Orthodox Christians and stuff. You're not evangelizing them to be all Catholics and stuff. They have incorporated their own cultures within it, right? So even when you see the liturgical chants which you hear here in Lebanon, on those places, in Arabic, where they're doing their Orthodox liturgical chants and stuff like that, right? They're very close to the Islamic prayer, an Islamic way of chanting there from the Quran, because Islam has taken from them, right? And people believe, like, people don't understand where Islam took their, like, praying and stuff like that. They've taken from them because they're chanting and stuff. But it shows that, you know, those people had their own culture. Spreading Christianity doesn't mean that you're overtaking their culture. They will adapt their culture and they will believe in Christianity how they want to believe in. Look at South Americans. They have a very colorful way of doing things. Like, they have amalgamated it with their own cultural things to you know, make it applicable for them. So even but the thing is, like, that can be afterwards. That's for Christians, actual Christians, to think about it, right? I want just the governments to work as governments. That's all. I just want a competent government. That's all I want. You know, nothing like beyond that is like it. I don't expect anything from anyone beyond that. Beyond that is up to me to inspire other people to do it. It's up to you to inspire other people to do what you want them to do. It's local enterprise, it's private enterprise of people, it's church enterprise of other people. It's not a government matter. You know, government matter is to give security and protection to its people and leave them alone.
Lastly, let's watch. I want us to look at. I want us to see an excerpt from an interview that Jordan Peterson did with Douglas Murray. This is like a 4 hours. This is like a 4-minute excerpt from that interview. So let's just look at that.
The idea that people's response to any problems in their society should be to go out and commit acts of violence is obviously insane and wrong.
Is that going?
Yeah.
Let me try, and this is the moment where I know why it is echoing. Let me close this. Give me a moment. Stop screen share. Sorry guys, technical difficulty. Just for a brief moment, I will be back. Don't mind me. I operate my system like an old man, so I'm not really that fast.
What we're seeing on the streets of the British cities, though, raises this question, as I say, of if the public keep saying something to the politicians and the politicians keep not just ignoring them, but insulting them, what are they allowed to do, these people? These are populations that have every single election, like the rest of the British people, for 20 years, they have voted for less immigration and been told that they'd get it. And instead, it's just gone up. They've lived through an economy since 2008, where of the jobs created by the British government since 2008, so in the last, what we're talking, 16 years, of the jobs created since 2008, 74% have gone to people who were not born in Britain. So just people think about this for a second. The government refuses to do what the public keep on asking for and what the government keeps on saying it'll do. It is seen to be, I think accurately, extremely lax on policing certain social cohesion issues. It's extremely eager to crack down on anyone of a Tommy Robinson type. And what material benefits have come about in the society in the last 16 years have largely gone to people who were not born in the country. I repeat, what is permissible in this situation to do? And I would say peaceful protesting would be one thing, or speaking up, or whatever you like to do, except that every time even there is a peaceful protest, the peaceful protesters are defamed as far-right neo-Nazis. I mean, there definitely will have been and have been in recent days some extremely ugly people who've come out of the woodshed. I'm sure do include, there's like one guy everyone's obsessed with who has a swastika tattoo on his back. Is that guy representative of all the people who are angry in the wake of the slaughter in Southport? I would have thought not. And in any other situation, every public official, political official, opinion writer, and policeman would be very wary of trying to tar everyone with that brush. I mean, for instance, the police and authorities, even when you have discovery of an imam in a mosque preaching violence, everyone is incredibly careful, lawyers at all the newspapers and everyone else, to make sure that it isn't implied that everyone who attends that mosque is somehow in favor of this. In fact, woe betide you if you did do that. You have to say it's this one person and no one else is responsible. But somehow the actual desire to tar anyone who has, as I say, not got a voice and is wanting to make their voice heard as a violent far-right neo-Nazi seems to me to be a big error by Keir Starmer and others. Because, if you can't say, we recognize your deep, deep concerns about some things that have happened, including mass stabbings, terrorism, and much more. We understand your deep, deep concerns, and we are going to try to get onto this and on top of this. But there is no excuse to turn out on the streets and be violent against your Muslim brothers and sisters and neighbors or anyone else. If they can't say that, they just cannot say it. They just have to go to the secondary thing. What kills me about this is it's exactly what I said for years. If you don't deal with a primary problem, you get secondary problems. And if you just focus on the secondary problem, you will you'll not only not solve the primary problem, you will make it worse. Exactly what we're seeing.
And there we have it, guys. Wise words from Douglas Murray. And I'm very sure Momus agree 100%.
Yeah,
Douglas Murray is his man crush. And
I love Douglas. He's amazing. Yeah.
Anything to say in closing? Because we have stayed 2 hours, and I know 2 hours is your limit. So let's not.
Yes,
Let's not.
it is my limit because I've just come. When we started, I just finished work.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I'm very hungry now. I haven't
Mhm.
had dinner, and I'm getting very hungry. And when I'm hungry, I'm very angry. I'm not good when I'm hungry.
All right. So closing
Uh,
remark. Give us a closing remark. And
Closing remarks. I would say, like, I think so. People need to take what's happening here in Britain. British people need to take it seriously. Why? Because if we don't take it seriously now, then there will be a mass exodus of people, because there is no hope for the future generation, how things are going, right? And if no one is
mm,
going to stand up, and people are not going to stand up about it, then there is going to be a mass exodus of people, and this is how they will eventually, make Britain a socialist country. I don't actually believe
mm,
in the threat of Islam as much in Britain as sometimes I would exaggerate at times. Is because I
mm,
think that the communist element is a bit more problematic over here than the Islam problem, because
mm,
the numbers are still low for Muslims, and it's pretty
mm,
much that they will start deporting people at some point. Um,
mm,
it might be like through naivety, like we don't know right now. Like, Islam is a huge problem with what they're doing, but right now they're only doing it to people that they are against, that the labor is against anyways, the working class people. Once
mm,
these Muslims start doing it to the middle class people more and more, right,
mhm,
that is when labor will take action, right? When they
mm,
start doing the bad things to the lefties, that's when labor will
mm,
have to take action, right?
mm.
So we'll wait and see what happens over there, what that conflict is going to be, how they start eating it themselves,
Each other
right?
up.
Yeah, in the meantime, I think so people need to voice their concerns. People need to stop being afraid of this government and of what it's doing and stuff like that, because it doesn't have the authority to do what they're doing. But also, I want people to actually clue on, like, you can't just this is not a time anymore where you can learn, where you can live while in ignorance of the
Mm,
system that works around you. So I think so
mm,
this is a wake up call for people to understand the systems that work around them, to understand the
mm,
ideology that they believe in, to stop,
mhm,
if they consider themselves as Christians and stuff, understand the meanings of Christianity, like the lessons of Christianity. Cultural
mm,
Christianity without understanding Christianity is not valid anymore at a time where you actually need your faith to be strong. So these are things
mm,
that people need people need to really understand, and people need to understand why they love this country, and
mm,
why they would like to fight for it. Because if you don't, then get out of here, because there's nothing
mm,
for you then.
mm,
And also, people need to understand democracy a bit more. Look,
mm,
I don't think so. Democracy doesn't work for me if the majority of the people is unaware of the current affairs and the problems of the country, right?
mm,
Economical, social, and cultural problems of the country. Democracy doesn't work then, because
mm,
it's just being ruled by a minority, and that minority is like even more tyrannical because it has a mandate of the nation when it actually doesn't. It has a mandate of a clueless nation that is just
mm,
putting them on for whatever surface level reasons. So either, if we want to progress with democracy, I personally, I'm in between. I rather have an elective monarchy, so a democracy, but to actually elect a king. I'm a bit different when I think about those things. But if you want a democracy, then you have to be aware of what you actually have, right? And you have to have a percentage of people, a high percentage of people that need to vote and be active about it. And you need to stop voting for these little for these big parties that don't understand you, that don't want what's good for you, that only want good for a globalist agenda, right? So you need
mm,
to focusing on smaller parties that actually care for the people, if you want
mm,
democracy. But yeah, what I would say, like, people need to get clued on. The best thing that people can do is to educate themselves now. Like this,
Mm,
stop watching stupid shows and stupid dramas and think this is all gonna go away. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna wake up to either a Muslim country, Islamic country, or you're gonna wake up to a Soviet Britain, or you're going to wake up to a country that is divided between the Muslims and the Soviets, like it used to be, like
mm,
between Danelaw and the Wessex, right? That's
mm,
you're not going to wake up to normal. You can't just go on, carry on with your life and think everything
mm,
is fine, and it's just gonna be fine. It's just gonna be fine. It's just people, when they stop being mad about things, they're gonna be fine, right? Because you
mm,
might not have an idea, and you might
mm,
not recognize your enemies, but your
mm,
enemies surely know you. They know
mm,
you, they recognize you as an enemy, and they are very motivated against you.
mm.
So that's what I would say. Like, people need to, like, yeah, buck up their ideas.
Of course, one of the things I wanted to say was already Lola already pointed it out to me. Not the democracy is a lie part. It's the part, just seeing her face just reminded me of a very important thing that I stand by. And we both stand by that the solution is killing a bunch of people, rounding them up and just executing them. That is the way forward.
I
And
haven't
we're going
said that. He has said that. Extradite him
to,
and put him in
yeah,
UK prison.
yeah, Stama, extradite me and bring me to the UK. Let's see you try. Anyway, so there is that. That's what we believe in. It's called. We are trying to form a religion. It's the religion of genocide,
Yeah.
and some people call it Judaism, but no, we don't think it's Judaism. We think it's bigger than that. It needs to be. We don't want to co-opt another religion. We want to create our own. Okay. And even if it's Judaism, who says one more religion cannot exist to further to make the to speed things up. Anyways, somebody asked in the comments, it was asking Anta when he's going to be on the channel again. Hopefully tomorrow, because we want to discuss. There's a topic I want us to talk about tomorrow. And Anta, if you're on the live, this is you sharing it for the first time, but it was something in my head. I forgot to send you the message, and now I'm telling you as you're watching me live. I have a couple of videos, interesting videos from TikTok on like there's this civil war between blacks who were pro-Palestinians, or I mean, I say pro-Palestinian, pro-Palestine, and actual Arabs who are pro-Palestine, who are still pro-Palestine, because the black pro-Palestine supporters or black Palestine supporters of Hamas and Palestine realize that their interest does not align with the interest of the Arabs. And now there's a huge conflict, and it's interesting to see. What is playing out on TikTok is really, really interesting. I have made one video about it. I'm about to make another one. But tomorrow I hope we'll be able to, I'm going to have a live stream with Anta to talk about it. So that's what is in store for tomorrow. And we are going to have Momus again on towards the end of this month. Right, that's where the live stream is going to happen, and we're going to talk about a different topic, not Britain, not just Britain. Okay, yeah. We'll talk about a bigger topic. What else? Also, please, guys, let me remove this genocidal live chat. Please, guys, this is our Twitter. These are our Twitter handles. As you can see, next to our names are Twitter handles. Go there and give us a follow. If 491 of you give me a follow right now, whoa, I'll be the biggest boy on Twitter right now. I'll be the biggest boy on Twitter. All right. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe to this channel, please. Hit that like button, smash it, destroy it. And follow Momus. Follow him. His channel name is tagged on the topic and on the description of this video. Once you click on his name on the topic, if you click on it, it sends you to his channel. Go there and give him a huge follow. He's doing amazing work. And what else? I want to make all the necessary announcements. Is there anything I'm missing, Momus? Is there anything I'm forgetting to me? Okay, follow me on
Instagram. You coming on Instagram now?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, so I've always been. In fact, I have more Instagram followers than I have Twitter followers.
I just want to tell people, like, I do have a Substack, so if people want to follow me over there, it's theworldofmomus.com. the Substack over there, and everything is for free over there anyways. And paid subscription or monthly paid subscription is voluntary. It would be really appreciated if more and more people do that, because I need it for my future solicitors. So
And I almost forgot to highlight the super chats that came from the sponsor of this live stream is probably this live stream is proudly brought to you by Jax. Okay, this is my able sponsor, like we said, my able sponsor, and this is a live chat, super chat from her. She said, "What I see literally makes me ill. The pure evil that is being advocated for is just not human life, love, truth, and freedom. Scares the out of this." Scares the crap out of these demons. It does, and that's why I believe that Christians should be bold about saying what they know to be true. And I think that boldness, is one of the things that scare Muslims. They're scared when you're bold and when you are proud of who you are. I was in a live stream yesterday, and the proud Christians on the live stream scared the Islamist that he left. Okay, and when you are also proud to be a Christian, aware of your Christianity, and you appear in great number. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the story that happened with David Wood when he went to Speaker's Corner, and the large crowd of Christians that were there, they scared the Islamists out of that area. The Muslim preachers it was not business as usual for them, and that's why I encourage Christians to be loud and proud. Okay, no silence. Okay, and here is just again saying thank you, everyone. You are proof that we get along no matter where we are from. Proud infidels unite. Kufars for
life.
Besides, we have a common threat, Islam. Yes, we do. And I want to thank Jazz for gifting 5 Nigerian Perspective membership and also doing it again. We didn't get plenty super chats today. Why? You guys, I'm disappointed. Okay. But it doesn't matter. We'll be here again. I love coming live. I love seeing you guys. One of the things I really love about this live stream is that we have close to 500 people with us live, and this is huge compared to like the couple of live streams I've done in the recent past. And I really am happy about that. I really am happy, and I want to thank every one of you who is with me right now live. I really appreciate the support. I really love the support I'm seeing, and I am really, really grateful. Thank you, Momus, for showing up. Thanks to my moderators. You guys are the best. Stachin, Jax, Shayna, who is not here presently, or at least I'm not seeing her live chat. And Can You Not? You guys are the best. Thank you, Ayanora. I know you're not with us right now, but thank you for showing up. And thank you, Lola, my very good friend, for showing up as well. Seeing familiar faces on the live chat is usually welcoming. And I don't know why I don't have my dentist guy with us right now. There's this dentist guy that always show up telling me to go and see a dentist, and he's not here today. I don't know why you're not here today. Somehow. And thank you. Thank you, Anta, as well. Hopefully we'll be able to fix that live for tomorrow, or probably to be on Sunday. We'll see how it goes. But I hope it happens.
He's not here anymore. You should message him.
Yeah. He's not here. He's probably doing what he does best in his free time.
Smoking weed and jerking off.
All right, guys, it's been fun, and I really appreciate it all. Until I see you guys again, thank you, and God bless you.